let's look back at the game last night. I got a ton of things to throw at you. I know Caleb does as well, but let's talk about how the Vols performed last night and a pretty convincing victory over Vanderbilt.
Yeah, real good performance. Just adding on to what they've already done. This to start the SEC season, coming out, having an identity, playing defense the way they are. I think one thing that they have to continue to do, and this hasn't been a problem all year so far, but just finishing the halves, finishing their first half with them going on a 7-0 run, letting Vanderbilt get back into the game, take the lead, and then also the second half of the game, like being up about 15 and then letting them go on the run and have to battle to keep them off and knock down free throws. Now, of course, a lot of things are going to be let go as far as officiating goes. They're going to let them play harder, play with a little bit more physicality and foul with them being down like that. But you still got to be able to control the ball, don't have senseless turnovers, still be attentive, because those are the things that pay off, once you get to the tournament. And I think that's what this is all about for this season, gearing up for the tournament. You've had a lot of good seasons in the past for Coach Barnes, and being able to have accomplish things in the middle of the season and number one and all of that. But I think now you put more of a cap on it if you don't get it done in the tournament. You want to get to that NCAA tournament and move forward and progress and start getting to those Elite Eights and things like that to take that next step in the program. So you got to be able to finish games.
Ron, when I hear finish games, most of the times I think about a younger team and maybe immature, but I'm not sure that's the case here. I think perhaps some of that is just still finding the chemistry and the rotation because of injuries and that sort of thing.
Yep.
You think that's it?
Yeah, I think so with this team. But this is a veteran team. And not, like I said, this is nitpicking also. I haven't seen them do this all year, not be able to finish games outside of the Colorado game. More so you like to call it playing with your food. And not finishing it. That's kind of what it was with Vanderbilt. You had an opportunity to finish them. You got to take that and go on and knock them out. There was a rivalry, so I kind of give them a little bit of slack in that, even though the wins-loss doesn't add up to a rivalry. But it is what it is. It's a rivalry to me. Going forward, the same thing going into this game Saturday, man. Like, you got to be able to go knock it out when you got a mature bunch like that, especially when you got guys out there that can shoot free throws. Tariq Key, Santi, Zakai, Josiah, all those guys can knock it down. Give the ball to a guy, be strong with it, go and meet the pass. It's just little bitty things, and knowing who Coach Barnes is and his staff is, that's a stickler for them, being able to go on and knock those things out. You are a mature bunch, and that's the reason why you can't have these episodes like this where you go on 2-minute 2-minute runs for the other team and you allow them to get back in it. That's part of it.
Caleb, I want you to jump in here, but first, Ron, I'm curious with you. I'm sure Kentucky was the number one team you would like to beat, not to put words in your mouth. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where did Vanderbilt rank?
Man, Vanderbilt was pretty high, man. I'm honestly right behind Kentucky and Florida. Vandy would fall right behind them because listen, I got to come back here. I got to come back in Nashville. I grew up in Nashville. I know about the Memorial Magic. I knew when they had great teams and all of that. Like, I can't stand coming back in the summer and having to listen to the vets like Ronnie McMahon, Charles Davis, Drew Maddox, all these guys give me hell about, them beating us. So I got to stand tall through it. And that was always on my radar. I think I went 7-2 or 7-1 against them. See, they tried to count the 2 my junior year, but I didn't play. They try to count that split,
right.
But they can't count that split on me.
Yeah, go ahead, Caleb.
Ron, last night, it's funny, going into the game, Tennessee was favored by 17.5, and I think you and I know whoever made that line in Vegas hadn't just looked at Vanderbilt's record and hadn't looked at how Vanderbilt had been playing throughout. They've been in a lot of games. Was last night's close game more about Tennessee playing a little sloppy, or just Vanderbilt being very well coached, playing very good basketball, and being close to turning the corner? Because they both shot like 90% from the free throw line.
Yes, you're exactly right. You hit it on the head. It's more to do with what Vanderbilt is and what they're becoming, and they just don't have the talent to get them over the hump. And that's going to come. Dr. Candace Storley is doing a great job of bringing in people to help their program in all realms. You know, bringing volleyball back. You got Shea Ralph in there with the women's. You got Stackhouse, Clark Lee being added to the mix. So you got guys and gals that know how to win. You know, and you got them in positions to get it done. But you got to be able to get the talent in there. And if you watch Vanderbilt play throughout, I was arguing with this is crazy. I was arguing with Vanderbilt fans on Twitter this morning, like, yeah, Stackhouse sucks. I'm like, hey man, y'all are crazy, man. Like, what you got to realize is like looking at football and looking at Georgia and Alabama. What separates them so much at the end of the day? Yeah, the coaching and all that is good, but it's the talent, man. You got to be able to get guys in there. It comes down to the Jimmys and the Joes, guys being able to make plays after you get past all the minutia of game plans and everything like that. So I think Stackhouse and his staff has done an incredible job. You know, those guys are in every single game. They fight hard, and you know they're not going to get blown out. You know what I'm saying? Like, just if they got a chance to get to it, they're going to get to it. Now, you got to take into account over the years, Neesmith has been hurt. He was leading the SEC in scoring. Like, I thought they were going to really do something that year before he got hurt and had to sit out. Pippen just kind of, he got into a mode where he couldn't really make other guys better. And then you had guys transferring. Dasu, if Dasu doesn't transfer and go to Texas or Texas Tech, I forgot where he went, that would have been a major key for them coming back last year. So it's a lot of things that take place, man. But I think they're doing a great job. They play hard every single time. And if it's a close game, that's not who you want to be in the battle with, because they're gonna fight and scratch all the way to the end.
Yeah, I agree. So Tennessee goes from a coach who's getting the most out of his players to a coach who notoriously seems to get the least out of his players. I know you played Calipari twice. You went 1-1. One time in Knoxville, his first year at Memphis. The second time was in Memphis. I was actually at that game at the Pyramid. That was the DeJuan Wagner year, which was Calipari's first high-profile recruit at Memphis. How hot is John Calipari's seat right now? Because losing to South Carolina is bad.
Hey, man, especially coming off the heels of what Tennessee did to him. So you think of what the upper echelon of the SEC is, and you come into a Kentucky pick to win the league. You got Arkansas before the injuries, Alabama and Tennessee all knocking on the door to compete for that. But it was kind of, you know, you got the player of the year coming back in Kentucky. So you're like, oh, they got it. You know, it's going to be a fight to get them out of the way. And you look at it now, man, they're at the bottom of the league. And I said this about 2 years ago. I don't know how long they can go with knowing boosters, alumni up there in Rupp, and what moves them and what makes them have a great time at the Derby and at the golf course in the summers and the spring is talking about championships, Final Four runs. Like, it's not okay just to get to the tournament. It's not okay to finish second or third in the SEC. That's not okay. Yes, you're a blue blood school and you can live on that for a minute, but you're getting the recruits in and you got guys going to the league. That don't work, man. They like to see banners raised, and they don't like to raise banners for SEC East championships and things of that nature. Like, they're supposed to be creme de la creme, and we paying you as a coach creme de la creme money. You got to come in here and deliver, man. Like, I've been wondering how long will it last, and I think you're starting to see it come to a head. I didn't think no way by any stretch of the imagination that Coach Paris would go in there and get a victory. Man, they got a guy in G.G. Jackson, but Michi, man, Johnson went bananas. So you got guys not afraid anymore. Like, I remember as a freshman when I walked in there, I was sitting on the bench. I'm coming off the bench. It's a mystique about Rupp Arena. And I caught myself sitting on the bench looking up like, golly, man, this it right here. It's like what they say about Yankee Stadium, man. Don't look at the stripes, man. Like, it can get you. And it's not getting anybody anymore. Like, everybody's willing to go in there. Western Kentucky's willing to go in there. Anybody's going in there with confidence thinking they can win. And you can't be that way, man. Cal got to figure it out. His seat is scorching to me. It's scorching hot to me. And he keep on trying to tell the fans, I'm going to tweak this. You got to be with the fans more. You got to be with the players more so than ever right now. They need you. No, man. You need to get this in order. ain't no fans that got to be riding. You got to get this in order, man. These are guys you wouldn't get. You got the player of the year. That is a walking double-double. Jacob Toppin, who can't figure out what his role is and how many times he should play it. Frederick finally got time to play last night. A shooter that transferred in that can really shoot the ball. But the only time he got time is because Toppin was out. Cason Wallace, great freshman. Wheeler leading the league in assists. Like, you got to figure it out, man. Nobody making excuses for you, dog.
Ron, if John Calipari just wins one championship, and I know that he had the one that he should have won at Memphis, Derrick Rose can hit some free throws, but if he ends his career with one championship with all the talent he's coached, how big of a disappointment is his career, or is it?
So that's tough, man. In the game of basketball, when given that much talent and trying to make it gel, I think it would be a bit of a disappointment when you look at all the collective talent that he's had as far as getting team goals, as winning championships, and even just vying for them, because you look across and you judge by your peers what they do. You look at Roy Williams, he walked away since Cal with 2 championships. Bill Self, he got 2 chips. Jay Wright, he walked away with championships. Coach K, he walked away with championships. Like, it's everybody since Coach K with the blue blood schools has won championships, and he can't seem to get there. So is it a fail? To me, yes. As far as individual success and coaching and getting these young men, these young kids into men, and being able to reach their goals, he's winning. He's winning. You come in there, you look at it at 15, 16 years old, you think about what was Big Blue when you think about Kentucky. It's getting to the league. Being able to play for a championship and get to the league. You're not playing for the championship anymore, but you are getting to the league without question. So, I mean, his resume is very long as far as doing that part. So he is successful in that part and off the court. But when you measure it up against his peers, as far as just on the court and team goals being made, I think he's falling short.
Yep. Somebody mentioned on our message board Cal's buyout is $40 million. Those numbers those are monopoly money, but nowadays, I mean, they just don't matter. I mean, you're going to see Jimbo Fisher get exited at some point. He's going to walk away with like 70 million. So I don't know that matters. But Ron, I think, and I'm going to let you out of here after this, I think in some ways Calipari has unintentionally rubbed the noses in it for some of his boosters. And by that, he's bragged about the players that have gone to the NBA. They're going to make $100 billion, and he's got a number he throws out there, and that's all great. But then that helps you in recruiting. I get that.
Yep.
But the boosters hear that and they're like, "What the H?"
Yeah.
Then why? I mean, then why are we winning more championships?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly right. And that doesn't help me when I'm sitting around at the country club or at the barbershop and I'm trying to have conversations with people and I ain't got no leg to stand on because you start pointing at Tennessee and Rick Barnes beating you every time. Like, yeah, he putting guys in the league too, and he's doing it a different type of way. So it's not at that rate, as far as that many. But man, it's different, man. You got to be able to hold court and get it done, man. And he just can't. He just can't. And because I honestly, I think Cal is a really good coach. I do think he's a really good coach. I think he's a really good motivator. And I think whenever you are able to accumulate talent and all make them strive going one way, that's even a greater sign because there's a lot of people that can't do that. I had that talks about my coach at Oak Hill Academy, Coach Smith, before he retired. Like, man, he should be winning. Well, yes, he should be winning, and he is winning. So, yeah, that's what it comes with the territory. If you're going to get talent like that, Carmelo Anthony's, Kevin Durant's, and things like that, you better go win, and he did. So you look at it, the Cal, man, why can't you get the job done? That's the biggest question, and I think a lot of it has to do with his turnover on his coaching staff. He doesn't have the same coaches there. I think that's a big part of it, recruiting the type of guys, not just going to go get the highest rated guys. That's why I'm interested to see if he would vote and go to somewhere like Texas and be able to take that class with him, because I do think that class is special. And if he didn't win with that class coming in next year, it's no question he out of there. He would have to go.
Wow. Good stuff. Ron Slay, 104.5 The Zone with Brent Doherty, Don Davenport on the afternoons from 3 to 7 Central. So certainly check him out. Follow him on Twitter at @TheRonSlay. Next to Rex Chapman, he is the best former basketball tweeter that is out there. Rex is pretty good, though. Rex goes down political roads, though, that I'm not comfortable with, and I'm guessing you're not either.
Nah, I ain't got no parts of that, man. I know where I stand. Everybody believe in somebody, and I'm gonna stand with that right there. And I'll leave that alone. You know what I'm saying? I'll let Rex have that.
You got to know your lane and know that Elon Musk is always out there.
That's right. Now, why would I want to take somebody else's lane? Like, why would I dive in there? I got to let somebody else have it. I don't want nobody else's job. I like mine.
Ron, take care, brother. I appreciate it.
No doubt.